I am often asked what therapy actually is, what it means. How do you learn to be a therapist? The answer to that is about as complicated as it gets, and we could take as many hours as you like to describe it, but I'll tell you what I feel it's like. There are enormous parts of therapy which are very much like I know as a parent. Like bringing up a child, like bringing up a small child. That's to say the same things that are important as a parent are also important to therapy. Unconditional regard, for starters. You may make me angry sometimes. You may make me sad. You may make me frustrated. You may make me want to tear my hair out, as you can see. But all the time, I still care for you underneath. It's what small children learn. The most important thing they learn at their mother's knee. And many of the children we have in therapy, unfortunately, have never been able to learn that because they never did have unconditional care. And you as a therapist are giving them that for the first time. I think something else that's important, just as it is with a parent, is the ability to contain a child's anxiety. You as a therapist may feel beside yourself with anxiety at what the child is telling you, what you're uncovering in their life. And sometimes, of course, you may be bound by the law in having to reveal that to others. But most of the time, you're containing that anxiety and working with it, containing your own anxiety, containing the child's anxiety. And by containing your own anxiety, you also help the child to contain theirs. So there are many things that stem from parenthood that are also part of therapy. However, I think that being a therapist is a little like walking a tightrope. Or to be more exact, it's like walking several tightropes simultaneously. And it's very, very easy to fall off on one side or the other. And I'll give you just a couple of examples of that. I don't think in therapy you can get anywhere with a child or anywhere else or anyone else unless you get close enough to them to feel their pain. And that means often getting very close indeed. But there must also be part of you that maintains a professional, a therapist distance. Because if you enter totally into the world of the child, then there are no boundaries around either of you. And that can be cataclysmic. Secondly, I think all of us know that if you're working with a child in trauma, you have to earn their trust. And that can take a very long time, and you can't rush it. You have to go at the child's pace. And then you have a period when you're working through the trauma with that child, with their trust. And then at the end of therapy, you have an equally important time when you're saying goodbye, in effect, when they're losing you. And stage managing that without adding to their loss, to their trauma, is equally important. So there's a shape to the relationship. But at the same time, sometimes a window opens on a child's inner life and you have to jump through it, because if you don't, it might shut and it might never open again, or it might take a long time to open again. So there's another tightrope to walk, if you like. And I suppose there's one about non-judgmentality too. I've already talked about unconditional care and how important that is. I don't think that means never saying to a child, I disapprove of what you've just done. What you say is, I don't like that, but I still like you. So another tightrope to walk. And I think it's remarkably difficult to walk over those tightropes simultaneously. And all of us fall off at some time or another. And part of the business of being a therapist, like being a small developing child, if you like, is dusting yourself off, learning from it, and doing it again. Never let anybody tell you that they've reached the stage where they never make mistakes. If you're not making mistakes, then you've stopped pushing the boundaries of what you do, and you've stopped developing yourself, just as your clients will stop developing. And the more senior I become in any of my professions, the more I've been aware that I need some sort of supervision, somebody in the background when I'm working with somebody in particular trauma or in a particular situation that has such echoes of my past, my life and my development and my problems, that I'm in danger of losing my objectivity.